welcome to the May 6, 2019 Grafton Board of Health meeting. Can I have a motion to open?
So moved.
Yep, someone needs to make a motion
I'll make a
first.
motion to move.
Second. All in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
All right, so first up, the Alliance update.
First or you?
You can go first.
All right. Got our monthly inspections for the month of March. No, month of April. My apologies. Month of April. We had 14 routine inspections. I'll list off the ones that had any kind of critical or red violations. Number one, Buggy Whip Catering. They had just a couple little ants around their sink area. Nothing extensive at the moment. I think it's just that time of the season where they're starting to warming up. They're starting to come out a little bit more. But he does have a pest company coming out to look at that and making sure everything's good there. Going down the list, at number 8, Reunion, they recently had a vacuum packer. So if you vacuum pack different kinds of meats, depending on how long you vacuum pack it for, you need a HACCP plan to go along with it. So we reached out to them, talking with them in terms of what they plan on doing and if in terms of time frame, if they need a HACCP or they don't need a HACCP. So that's in the works there, though. At Highfields, it was cleaning their soda guns. We did a pre-op there, so they're open for the season, and I believe they actually might have had their soda guns replaced. And Captain Ron's Catering is just upkeep with general cleaning, and it's a food truck. And that's really it for criticals and red violations. Any questions on the food aspect?
Just where does Captain Ron's usually situate?
They're usually right over here for the like lacrosse games,
Okay.
any like major
At the fields?
tournaments or anything like that for the sporting at high school. And same thing with the Melt food truck. They were
I
at
was
one of the
wondering,
events
yeah,
over
about
here.
Melt.
Was that ice cream? Melt?
No, it's
Grilled cheese.
Oh.
Yeah, and then Jupiter Farms ice cream truck as well. So for general complaints, we had a little bit more than usual. 66 Brigham Hill Road, that was a trash complaint, which is now in the works of getting remediated. 109 Cooper Hill Road, we had another rat complaint. Both me and Phil are working with him in terms of getting him to clean everything up, and there has been, in my eyes, there has been progress over the past couple months.
Is it an apartment building?
No, he used to take in, I don't know the full dynamics of his operation, but I believe he used to take in trash,
Mm-hmm.
and now he's stopping doing that, and he's focusing more on taking good food waste and turning it into animal feed.
Like Triano Trucking?
Yeah, that's the same place.
That's who it is.
Oh.
Yeah.
It's been on every single meeting we've ever had.
Yeah, I think I read that there's a hearing this Wednesday and Phil might be able to attend. Is that correct?
Yeah, Phil's just
In
waiting here.
Worcester, a DEP hearing in Worcester.
Yeah, their Worcester office. I think he reached out to him today to see if he can just sit in on the meeting.
Yeah,
kinda
I saw that
good.
email.
See what they're looking at, and see if we can kind of help along those lines or anything
Yeah.
like that.
That's good.
So, more to come on that. 43 John Drive, that is a housing case. 84 Snow Road was another trash complaint, and that one is also in the works of getting remediated. They had a couple extra. No, that one actually should be done. I'm meeting with them next week just to verify. 100 Worcester Street, that was a rat complaint at the Stop and Shop facility. Did a full in-depth walkthrough of just the general property inside the store, and I didn't notice any signs of rats or any kind of rodents or anything like that. And there's nothing noted on their pest reports either. 101 Worcester Street, that was at Mike's Mobile. There was a smoking complaint in the garage, which was lingering into patrons' cars. Our tobacco inspector did go out, and he actually did see someone smoking in the general garage, so we gave him a warning. And then I followed up a couple weeks later just to verify I didn't see any smoking or anything like that inside the garage. 110 Main Street, that was, someone had noted that they had a small kiddie pool in the back that was just filled with water, and that they were burning pizza boxes in the fireplace. So I talked to the owner, just gave him precaution, watch out for the stagnant water, for mosquitoes, and only burn clean products. 41 Orchard Street, that was a dual housing one. And then 75 Waterville was an odor/septic complaint, which Phil followed up on, and they were getting their system pumped. And then that's it for complaints.
Cool.
We had one random kind of emergency over at Swirls and Scoops. One of their ice cream machines started burning up. There was no fire,
Okay.
just had a lot of smoke damage, which resulted in throwing out most of their products. They had a cleaning company come in, and now they are up and running again.
Okay.
Thanks.
All right.
All right, a couple other quick things. Follow up from the last meeting regarding the measles. Information did go out to all of our towns on different information that can be posted. And Pat, our public health nurse, and her team will obviously continue to monitor if any cases were to arise in any of the towns. But certainly it's something that is on the news quite a bit these days. So please, continue to push that information. I know Nancy's really good about pushing that information out on the website or flyers, whatever the case may be. So she's been given some of that information.
Have we had any cases in New England? I know there's cases out of New York recently. like
I
Brooklyn.
believe there's been a confirmed case in Massachusetts.
Has there?
I don't believe around here, but maybe Metro West. I'm not sure where, but I believe there has been one confirmed in Massachusetts. So that's certainly something that through MAVEN, which is the statewide system, Massachusetts epidemiological, virtual epidemiological network or something like that, that's something that comes in as an immediate. So,
Yeah, good.
so the nurses get notified right away if that was to come up. Also, from the last meeting, I know we were talking about emergency dispensing sites, potentially getting that on a GEMA meeting in the near future. In addition to that, the next quarterly Alliance meeting is going to be July 24th. It's going to be in Holden from 12:30 to 2. And I believe that emergency dispensing sites is going to be the focus of the meeting. So the whole meeting will be talking about emergency preparedness in the towns, lessons learned, things to think about. So that'll be coming up in July. Tick and mosquito season is upon us again. Karen also sent out a brochure that we have regarding ticks, mosquitoes, things that again can be posted on the town website or printed out for the office just for public education. The special gathering on May 16th, which was on the monthly update, which was to talk about the Special Commission on Local and Regional Public Health and their recommendations. That meeting has been canceled and will be rescheduled. We don't have the report from the state yet, so we don't have anything to discuss at the meeting. So once that report does come out and we have time to review it, we will reschedule the meeting. It's a really important for towns, boards of health to really read this report because it is all the different recommendations that the state and this commission is coming out with in terms of workforce credentials for Board of Health members or, certain priority areas for boards of health in the towns to focus on. So it's certainly something that as an alliance we'll want to discuss together to bring our recommendations forward back to the commission. So more to come on that. Let's see if there's any other. The only other big thing, unless anyone has any questions, is for Grafton, just as a reminder, there are some upcoming blood pressure clinics and the shingles vaccine clinic, which is scheduled for May 8th. So this is great because I know you guys have been talking about this for a while and it took a little while to build up enough vaccine to start it, but that will be starting on May 8th. Any questions on anything else in the update?
How was the response to that shingles vaccine, do you know?
I
think
talked to
it's been a
Nancy
good
that
response.
night. I talked to her, I was texting her back and forth that night, and she was here late, I know, because the phone had been ringing nonstop.
Yeah.
Not literally nonstop, but a
Right,
lot
but
more than normal.
Yeah, I think she's gotten a good response for it so far, which is good.
We have 30 on the waiting list, roughly 30.
No kidding. Oh, that's great.
Yeah,
They're
I-
willing to be put on it. Never mind. Never mind the people that said never mind.
yeah.
Great.
And I know she was doing, for those who were oh, I'm gonna, I want, and she actually had a spot for them on May 8th available that worked out. She was checking with them to make sure that the second date in July, sometime, whatever the date is in July,
Okay.
for the second dose, that they could also hopefully be
Yeah,
at
make
that
that
one
one
too.
as
So
well.
then it's you have the first, you're already put in the appointment for the second one in
Yeah.
July and you're done. Versus you have the first and then
Right.
the July date doesn't work for you
Right.
and now you're getting convoluted with almost another cohort. Thinking back to school days, another cohort of people that, you're trying to squeeze 5 people in
No.
and
Certain
you get all
days
out of, sorts in terms of
scheduling and.
scheduling and
Yeah.
everything.
Well, that's good.
Yeah, that's great.
All right, that's all on my end, unless you have any other questions.
So the next two, the polystyrene reduction has to get moved due to what would be lack of quorum, due to two members needing to recuse themselves, two
Yep.
and potentially a third.
Right,
Um,
so we'll have to rehash
Yeah.
that whole thing.
And then the spa for the pool regulations, I know there was back and forth around needing more information, applying for,
Variances.
yeah, variance in terms of like what needed to be submitted. So I know
Yeah.
that message had gone out to Julie,
Yeah.
rather than putting her on, keeping her on the agenda
Yeah.
to just turn around and say,
I
hey,
know.
great, come on in, and we're just gonna
We're
turn
still
around
waiting.
and tell you
Come back.
you need more and
Yeah,
come back.
I spoke with her earlier. Her and I and Phil were gonna meet on, most likely gonna meet on Wednesday. This
Of
upcoming
this
Wednesday,
week.
just to kind of go over it much more in depth, just to get everything lined up. So, once we go through our channel, if everyone agrees on whatever she's asking for a range
Mhm.
for, when we go to kick it up to the state, there's no bumps or anything like that. It's every.
Do we need to do any approval before it meets the state?
You guys would have to approve any variance request you
Variances,
would
right?
like. Assuming you approve it,
Mhm.
then we kick it up to the state and they have the final approval.
Okay. So if you meet with her this Wednesday, then the earliest we could approve it would be the next meeting,
Correct.
which is June 4th.
Fourth,
Right.
yes, which we only have an hour for because.
And that's a Tuesday night, right?
Yes,
Because that's the joint meeting
that's
with
the
the Board of Health.
rescheduled
Board
due
of
to
Selectmen.
bad weather.
Yeah.
That's why one of the
Yep.
things that I was gonna say is, as one of that, but the upcoming meeting, I'll take a look at what I had prepared for kind of here's what we've done.
Yeah.
And here's some of the stuff we're talking about doing,
Mhm.
because now we're talking, I think we were supposed to meet in February
Yeah.
with them, so there might be some tweaks, like the shingles clinic, for example, was still a glimmer in our eye, because we had no clue at that point when and if we would get vaccine, so I'll go back and look. Some of it will be standard, but some of it I can add in
Because we've
some
already had the
newer stuff.
the emergency management drill,
Right.
so
Yeah.
we can add that as well.
In the meantime, yep.
Because, yeah, that one, it seemed so far away when we rescheduled it.
Mm.
And then I was looking at the agenda and I'm like, oh, next meeting is that. I guess I'll resurrect that and make some small, because there won't be that many changes to it, obviously. It's not
Right.
like we're dealing with some massive regulations or something right now that we're worried about developing, so,
True.
No, nothing at the moment.
all right. Other than that, we have permits, licenses, etc. So
Usual fun stuff.
I think we're all set unless you know
All
of
right.
anything in here that we need.
Nothing specific?
Yeah.
Actually, I don't know what it's in, to be honest.
Let's see. Bills, nothing in bills. Alright. To be signed.
So thank you, folks.
Thank you.
Yeah.
Guys.
Yeah. Have a wonderful night. You approved. Yeah, they both look
Enjoy the nice
basic,
weather.
so
All right.
Yeah, you too.
Some
I'll see you
sunshine to
next
get
time.
out to.
yeah. Soak up the sun before
Before it rains
tomorrow.
Soaking up means sunburn for me.
You too.
my husband too. Yeah.
All right. See you next
Thank
month.
you.
Thank
You guys.
I'll soak up the sunscreen.
Just jotting a couple notes
So
to
is there
self.
anywhere online that we can go and read about the new polystyrene reduction bylaw before we meet with Ann?
Yeah, and Nancy sent out 3 pieces of
Yeah.
information to me, and
Let's go back to the emails. I didn't see anything offhand recently.
Yeah, it was quite a while ago. Maybe it was in the Grafton News I saw it, but she has 3. There's a pamphlet from Shrewsbury that spells out their whole plan,
Yeah.
and then there's also a website you can go on to get the real specifics.
Okay. Yeah, I didn't do any
So-
Google searches for it or anything.
Yeah, but Nancy could send it out, I'm sure.
Okay.
But yeah, at this point, I don't
Maybe
see
it's not
any.
urgent.
Yeah,
right?
I don't see any way to have quorum of 3 people
Before Monday.
before Monday, because I thought, I said this before, I'm so used to you know, voting is always on Tuesdays. And
Right.
it's just, I automatically think town meeting is on Tuesdays, and then afterwards, when you responded, I'm like, yeah, the meeting's on
Oh,
Monday.
wait, Monday, yeah. Unless we met in the morning or afternoon.
Yeah.
And I'm gonna be away anyway.
Yeah.
Yeah, so
totally.
it's, this
So
one
the
I don't.
town's voting on accepting the bylaw on Monday, and so at that point, we just wouldn't have any input for it.
We can't, I mean, as a board, even if you were to attend,
Yeah.
you can't speak
Can't
on
speak
behalf
for
of
the
the
board.
board because the board
Yeah.
hasn't
Mhm.
reviewed it yet.
Mm-hmm.
All right. So we have disposal works installers.
You need 3 or 4?
3. I mean, you can always take 4.
Yeah, I suppose, right?
We don't turn down extra.
Still need new services from Paxton.
So this is just a basic 121 North Street for disposal system construction permit. No local upgrades requested or anything.
It's all been checked off.
Proposed house, existing
looking.
garage
Yeah.
to be removed, leach field, septic. Existing house and well to be removed. No
Provide-
proposed house there.
Yeah.
Buffer.
Is that garage to be removed, that really old rundown one?
Mm-hmm. Right by
Right.
the bridge.
Yeah, right before the bridge. That's
Something, I guess.
it's been needing to come down for a long time.
Yeah. Yeah.
Yeah.
Ball office. Okay.
And they are on town water here, right?
Yeah, I know I saw something about an existing well on the other.
And then what is that?
Lot.
thing over
Which one is this?
Hard water shut off everywhere, which on DPW streets.
Oh, and this next one is 119 North Street, which is right next door.
The wetland buffer.
Which is why there's 2 right next to each other.
Okay, yeah, exactly.
Because I was wondering, I'm like, what are the chances there's 2 houses / garages next to each other that happen to be being taken down?
Right, at the
Leach
same-
fields going in and everything. What are the chances?
All right, good. Hold his hand open now. Pass him back.
Oh,
Yep.
yeah.
Then, Carter, this one is 119. So this one will probably give us
Pretty simple.
bigger picture of the other one. Okay, so this leach field, the existing house and well to be removed. So yeah, now we're just a little further.
Right.
This is
south-
the other lot we just
further-
looked at,
yeah,
and this
further
was
south.
part of the lot we had just looked at, so there's the proposed house. Yep, provide water shut off to the property line for town DPW specs.
And once it's all in, Phil has to go back out and re-inspect it, right?
Yeah.
Ooh, it's coming close to the wetland buffer, but just made it.
Yeah, there's a stream right here too.
Yeah. Alright. That's good though.
Yeah, better than the old dilapidated.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, seriously. Eyesore.
Alright, so let me just check to see, is there anything else? Got those. Correspondence and mail, oh, you. Special town meeting warrant, you wanted to know where it was on the warrant. Well, this is the special warrant, so I think it's on the regular warrant. Right, so that's the special warrant.
Laura Robertson and through the community preservation.
On Upton Street, yeah.
There's already a whole bunch that the land trust owns, like 200 acres.
Wow. That's right up by the railroads on Upton Street, right?
Right.
Yeah.
That's a beautiful property.
It's at the very end,
Oh, yeah.
literally at the very end.
So who knows if they'll even get to it.
Mhm.
Sometimes it goes into the next one, right?
Yeah, 'cause it's typical budget stuff.
Yeah.
All of the typical budget stuff. And there's some updates to zoning bylaws that they wanna do.
Is that in South Grafton?
Let's see. Yeah, you get the village mixed-use district. Replacing that, no, this is to
It's not
replace
that.
the title of village mixed-use district to village and neighborhood mixed-use district. That's one of them.
Is it just changing the name, or is
Mhm.
it, okay. I wonder if it was gonna be an actual separate designation.
And then they wanna add a new district entitled Worcester Street Neighborhood Center. Then a new district, Transit Village Neighborhood Center.
Hmm.
Then amendments to zoning for the marijuana retailers as a special permit. And then something to do with the multifamily dwellings in a certain section under affordability. And then you've got the one I think you were talking about, the marijuana cultivator,
Right, they all-
product manufacturing uses in the VMU Village Mixed Use, zoning in South Grafton.
Yeah, I saw that email come through.
So that's right before the polystyrene. Actually, it's got a copy of the proposed bylaw, the
Oh, right,
polystyrene in
okay.
it.
Perfect.
We're also changing, there's a petition to rename the Board of Selectmen. Did you see that?
To select board. Select board.
Select people.
I know when my college, freshmen weren't called freshmen. Even back then, they were called first years.
Oh, okay.
Hmm.
Makes sense. Freshman, I feel like is maybe a bit of an insult.
Alright, so we have one of the standard DEP notices. This is the one for Triano.
Yep.
We got via email.
Yeah. And the hearing's on the 8th, right?
Right.
Yeah.
Oh, so Wednesday, yeah.
9 AM in Worcester. Yeah, that'd be good if Phil could
Yeah.
get to that.
And then we have 2 for vegetation control program. One is for Grafton Upton Railroad. It's their yearly operational plan.
Oh, yeah.
And then the other is for Providence Worcester Railroad. It's their yearly operational plan.
Let's see anything up there.
We got that in the email, yeah.
So there were no minutes, because I see them on here, but they're not on here.
Okay.
Yeah, I wasn't at the last meeting.
Yeah, the railroads, I don't know if they own, but they have rights.
The right of way.
Yeah.
So many feet on either side of the
Mhm.
track. I forget exactly, if that's 8 or 10 or something.
Oh, I thought it was like 25 or something.
Maybe. So they can use herbicides.
Does it say what kind of herbicides they're gonna use? It says herbicide application. Okay, here it is. So they use the same for the sensitive areas as the non-sensitive areas, so must be pretty safe. I know there's a lot of issues with that Roundup going around now.
Oh, yeah.
For sure.
All right.
And other than that, the only thing that was it. Was just the meetings. We already talked about the June 4th meeting up
That's a
in
Tuesday.
here at 6 o'clock, only till 7, because then we need to be downstairs with the selectmen for 7
Right,
o'clock.
yeah.
In their conference room. Then we have July 1st downstairs, at least currently. I mean, the rooms could switch around, obviously, and then August 5th. So,
Okay.
yeah, so just the June 4th is the oddball one because it's a Tuesday
Yeah.
instead of a Monday.
And next meeting, we can ratify or vote to approve the minutes of last meeting.
Yeah.
And this meeting, yes.
Okay. Well, can I still approve me? I mean, I wasn't there, so.
Yeah.
So, I'll make a motion to adjourn if there's no other business.
Right, 1 second.
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Aye.